So, hello there, everyone, and welcome along to a fabulous Monday evening in the centre of Looseville, in the centre of the UK. So, I do hope you're keeping well, guys, and thank you so much for dropping by this evening where we're all going to paint together a beautiful little scene. And I do hope you're all keeping well and been painting this week. So I look forward to having a look at some of your fabulous work, guys. So well done. So as we customarily do, we're going to welcome our fabulous guests. So if you'd like a little message shouted out, a little welcome, just put it on the message board and you too will get an individual welcome from the Looseville Centre HQ. And if you just do me one huge favour as well, guys, if you just tell me what you see your end, because I can only see things my end. If the vision's good and if the sound's good, give me a little thumbs up, and that just gives me a little okay, a little stock take there. So, who is first in this evening? And it is Rachel. Welcome along, Rachel. Fabulous to see you there. And Rachel said it's looking very much like spring is on its way, which is a fabulous thing. My favourite time of year, guys. I love springtime. All the new flowers coming out, all the birds tweeting away, and the sunshine. What more could you want? It's a great time for painting. So much inspiration. So great to see you there, Rachel. Hope you enjoy the show and looking forward to seeing what you do a little bit later. And Jilly's dropped in, guys. Jilly from Bedlington, and it's fine in Bedlington. That's a great phrase. Fine and Bedlington very rarely go together. Sometimes it's sunny though, Jilly, isn't it? I've remember from the past. So hope you're keeping well there, Jilly. And Jilly says cherry blossom time, and her Daphne blossom is coming out, and soon crocuses and bulbs. Oh, absolutely! What an absolute joy to look at, Jilly. So I hope you're keeping well, and great to see you as ever. And Budapest, an American Quest, is with us. And I believe it's Ashley. Good to see you there, Ashley, from Berkeley, California. And the trees are in bloom, magnolia trees. So this almost coincides just with what we're about to do tonight. So great to see you. Hope you're keeping well there. And Barbara's with us. Good to see you, Barbara. Fabulous to see you. And Barbara's catchphrase, guys, is let's paint. And I think I've slightly adopted that because it says what we need to do. And don't think about it too much. Just get some paint on the paper and see where it takes us. So brilliant to see you there, Barbara. Hope you're keeping well there and enjoy the show. And Hilary is with us. Welcome along. Howdy. And still chilly in eastern Pennsylvania. Let's hope the chilliness disappears fairly soon, Hilary. But whatever the weather, we're going to paint and enjoy our little journey. So good to see you there. And let's have a look. I'm not sure of the name, but cherry blossoms are out in Vancouver and Victoria. So good to see you there. Just refresh me of your name a little bit later on, but fabulous of you to drop by. And Clive's dropped in. Welcome along, Clive. Clive's had enough of winter, I believe. And by painting what we're going to paint tonight, we're going to start banishing away winter and welcoming spring. That's what we want. So lovely to see you, Clive. And looking forward to seeing your creation a bit later on. And Gian is with us. Welcome along. Welcome everybody to the Blue Mountains in Australia. Rained heavily last night, cloudy this morning, but pleasant and cool. Perfect conditions for loose watercolours, don't you think, Gian? Good to see you there. Welcome as ever and enjoy the show. And Clive says there's, let's have a look, so far 70 inches of snow. 70 inches. Good grief. That is a bit, that's pretty deep, Clive. I wouldn't be going out in that, but I would. But Clive, this week's painting snack is lemon tarts and chai tea. He knows how to paint, does Clive. He knows how to paint. So welcome along. And we've got, sorry, it's Nancy who is from in the earlier question. So good one there, Nancy. And we've got Sharon from down under as well, and it's early morning. So thanks for getting up early, guys, over there. And the show will be a good one. And Cindy's with us from Washington State. And enjoy the show with us, Cindy. And Sabine's flown in, especially from Berlin. Good to see you. And David is with us from LA. Good to see you there, David. And Deborah from, let's have a look, not too sure, but Deborah's with us. Welcome, Deborah. And let's have a look. And we've got the thumbs up. We'll have a look at the sound there. And anything else. Great. Okay, guys. And Ministrom Mom 83 is with us from Minnesota as well, guys. So I'll just check on the sound. We'll see what we've got there. Get my technician, which is me reaching over. Right, okay. So, if you're ready, guys, we are ready to paint. So this week I've called this one Cherry Blossom Moon. So I thought, to coincide with the season coming up, which is, as I said earlier on, one of my favourite seasons, we'd do something regarding the cherry blossoms, yeah? But then I thought, why don't we put it in a bit of a scene rather than just a little tree there? So I thought a moon in the background, and that could be absolutely perfect. So that's what we're going to do. So let's bring up the drawing for you guys. So when you look at it like that, it's a little bit difficult to work out what's going on, but I'll point it out. So we've got the moon, which is fairly central behind the tree, and the tree is coming in from the left-hand side there. We've got a sort of blossom-filled bank on the left-hand side. We've got a little bit of distant mountains because we're in the Oriental region, and we've got a few sort of trees and fields as well, just to give us some perspective. So they're all the things that are within the drawing, guys. So we're going to use our fabulous Peter the Propelling pencil. It's a 4B lead, so it's not a heavyweight pencil. It's not it's a soft pencil. That's what I'm trying to say. Can't think of the words, guys. They will come to me. Just bear with. So 4B pencil. Hold him nice and loose. Yeah. So if you're painting along, guys, I wish you the best of luck and the best of fun. Remember, keep a light heart, and that's what it's all about. I'll describe everything we need to do, and we'll create this together. So are you ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. Let's get going. So we're going to start with a rectangle. So I'm going to put little dots down. I'm going to start in the top left, one in the middle, one at the bottom. And there's my relatively straight line. Yeah. And then we're going across, dots again. So we just estimate where the dots are, coming down, dot, 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 jump in, and take that a bit longer, and then dot across. There it is. There's my little rectangle. Yeah. Let's move that up so we can get it all in screen. And we're ready to rumble. So, okay guys, ready? Fabulous. Okay. Right, okay. Maybe if you, oh mind you, if you've got no, you're back with us, Jan. Good one. I was going to tell you, if you got no sound, maybe plug in and plug out, but if you got no sound, you wouldn't hear that anyway. So, anyway, but I think you've saved the day, you've sorted that one out. Right, we're off. So, we're going to start with our bank. So, let's find halfway, little dot there and dot there. We're going to go a bit lower. I'll raise them a bit lower to about a third, to about there. I'm going to take a bank going across, and it's going to finish about there, yeah? So we've got some distance, and it's a smoothish bank, but remember this is going to be leaves and tree, not tree, but up and downs, so it's not going to be a straight line. There we go. See? First line. Well done, guys. So that's it for this week. Great to see you. No, only kidding. There we go. So that is the line of the bank. Now then, we need to find that Mr. Moon. But one thing we need to do for a start, we've got this distant hill, and we're just going to take a little dot, again it's below halfway, only just above this one, and we're going to do a little curve over, okay, landing about here, which is about a third of the way across. Always remember that figure, the magic third, yeah, because when things land on that, whatever they may be, they make it a nice composition. So without doing too much, as long as you're doing that, you're going to be pretty much there. So this is going to be fields. I'm going to put another line here and another one about here. biggish wiggles, smallish wiggles, very tiny wiggles. Basically, these are big bits of forestry, trees. That smaller bits, they're just little nibbly bits. Just gives us some perspective. Okay, let's go to halfway, and then we're going to do a sort of mountain range that sort of goes across and down. Now that's not the shape we're really looking for, but what it is I'm going to go up, down, up, down, up and down. So that's going to be a mountain range that disappears. Yeah, so do that again. Goes up, down, up, down. They're about similar. Then we drop the mountains down. We don't paint anything much there at all, but we just need something to suggest what okay, Clive, good stuff. Bring your snacks with you and your chai tea. You'll be perfect. We'll wait for you. So they're the mountain ranges, guys. Right, now then, this moon. Let's go find halfway across, which is about there, and just move in a bit to the left-hand side. Bit of a line coming down. No, actually, yeah, a bit of a line coming down. Very lightly done. And then we're going to put the moon just here. So it's above the mountain range and about there. It's a decent sized moon by any standards. So there's the width. Sorry, there's the depth, shall we call it. There's the width. A few little dots just to give us that help to draw the circle. We've got dots at 4 points and then other 4 points as well. So let's curve that round. And this one. This one. You see, I'm drawing two sides and meeting in the middle. But it helps you get a good, accurate moon. Now it's a full moon. Sometimes you've got the crescent moon and all that sort of thing, but let's get the information on. Let's really just put the full thing on there. Right, you're doing well, guys. Doing really well. Now, this beautiful cherry blossom is here. So it's really half out of the page. So we're only doing this front half. And what I'm going to do is take it into the bank. We're going to start here. Then we're going to go up. But they're quite, shall we say, gnarled. They're not just straight up and across. Or this one, it's an old cherry tree. And so we're going to go up and across and that way. So let's just put a line for a start. And what we're trying to do is balance everything so it curves round and then it cuts across over the moon just a bit. Yeah. So let's go that way. So we go up, wobble, wobble, wobble. Okay, that's the bulk of the thick bit. Now we'll go back this way and follow it round. Now we'll go up the other way. And I think actually for the thick bit of the tree, that's enough. Remember, this is the heart where the page finishes and it just disappears that end. Now I'm going to drag a few lines up. We'll do a lot of this in the paintwork. Then this one can taper around again. We're just trying to encircle, good word, the moon, because we want to be able to drape things across it. So let's go across here a bit, round, and then just here we can drape it, just do a line. We'll add the leaves as we go along. So it's going across, then it's going across, then it tapers up a bit. Because remember, as a full thing, the tree's going to be that, and then it's going to go all the way around there. But we're only doing a chunk of it. But we're just trying to get enough information on just to allow it to drape across in a nice fluid fashion. Right, done. So I may have over-explained that. You basically go wobble a bit, bring it over, and drape some across the moon. Okay? Cool. Right, now then, with this bank here, what we're going to do is a bit of a wobbly straight line. Okay? Then, bent straight line. Then again, and again. These get close together. What that does is gives us a great perspective on this bank without doing much at all. So that you can't fully see in the drawing, the line drawing, because it's not delicate enough, but it gives you the basic information. So we've got everything on there, guys. We've got the moon, yeah, we've got the distant fields, we've got the mountains, we've got the tree that actually nestles into this field, yeah, rather than it teetering right on this top edge. It comes down along this, beyond this top edge. Got the tree, and then we've got the suggestions of where the line work goes. Okay guys, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'll leave that with you for a few moments, as we always do. Let's move that over the other side so you can still see it, and then I'm going to get some paints and show you the colours we're going to be using. Right, oh, and also we may be using Sid the sepia pen a little bit as well later on. We'll see how we go. Okay, so if you've got a sepia pen or a black pen, sepia is a bit more subtle, that's why I use it. And they're just a common garden one, a bit like that. There he is. As I say, use what you've got, or you don't have to use it at all. Right, colours. So, colours we're going to be using are these. So we've got Rose Opera, which is a light pink. We've got Royal Blue, which is a light blue. We've got a bit of Cobalt Blue, not put any of that out, but I'll stick some out. There's my Cobalt Blue. Hold the tube up, squeeze and drag. That gives me a nice line of paint to have a go at. We've got Cadmium Orange, which is just there. Then we've got Alizarin Crimson hiding away there, which is a dark red. We've got Sap Green for the fields, bit of violet just there, Lemon Yellow, and we've got a bit of Burnt Umber, and we've also got Sid the Sepia pen. And as with last week, I will be using a few colours from Jackman's, and again there'll be some links below if you're interested in those to try the exact ones that I'm using. Sometimes Miss Rigger does a little dive, as you just saw there. She's not in the Olympics because there's no diving in the Winter Olympics, I don't believe. So they're all the colours, guys, and we shall change this over to show you what the coloured finished one turned out like. There it is. Ooh. I did enjoy this one actually. I got a bit carried away with it, so it's a fun one to do, and also it'll give you some ideas for a few landscape things in this nature. You don't have to use the exact colours of nature. Change it round a bit, shake it up a bit. Yeah, right. Okay, guys. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Colours are ready. Miss Rigger's ready. Mini Dave's ready. So these are all the kit we're going to use, and Sid the Sepia is having a little slice of lemon cake and chai tea. I don't know where he got the idea from. Right, ready to rumble, guys? So I'll just describe what I'm going to do for a start, so it gives you a bit of a heads up. What I'm going to do is get the sky on around this area and down here, but what I'm going to do is just going to leave the moon plain white. I'm not going to paint anything on it at all. Maybe a couple of dabs right at the end, but nothing to start off with. So we're going to do the sky, I'm going to take that into the mountains a bit, then we're going to do the mountains, we're going to get this chunk done, yeah? And it gives it a bit of drying time as well. So, ready to rumble, guys? Indeed we are. So, clean my brush, and we're going to start with a little bit of water around the moon. And you can go over the branch as well and into the mountain range, why not? Right, let's start with a little bit of lemon yellow. Just a very weak tea strength. So you just get your water on the brush, move it backward and forward, get the liquid stuff. Sometimes pick up more than you need. And I'm just going to bring this down the bottom. And like I say, if you go over the tree a bit, doesn't matter, because all these colours can be incorporated in the later colours. So I'm just going to the bottom of the moon. Yeah. Sometimes they say go to the moon and back. Well, no. Tonight, just to the bottom of the moon. Right, lemon yellow. Okay. Let's have a little bit of, no, not mauve. Let's have a bit of cad orange. So just into that cad orange. This is all very weak stuff, yeah? When I say weak, really tea strength. Okay. You can do a couple of lines across, give that distant, you know, those nice skies you get. All they are just lines drawn across. Okay, got that. Right, now we're going to go with royal blue. Cerulean blue's just as good. I'm going to bring this in. When you bring it next to a colour like orange, just bring it in and leave it. Don't mess about and wobble it about too much. Because wobbling, you know what that is? Mixing. So we just want to keep the colours nice and clean. Okay, I'm not taking it too far across because most of the pink stuff is going to cover that. Right, there's your sky and your moon. Okay, beautiful, well done. Right, let's go the other way now. I'm going to go with royal blue, slightly thicker, into the mountains. I'm going to keep it below the crest of the mountain. I'm going to start with blue this end, only take it down to the field level. And if you're lucky, guys, if it's still a bit damp, your yellow will make a nice top of the mountains and it'll reflect the glow of the moon. A bit of violet, mauve, further down the mountain, look. So with distance comes muted tones, and that's what just putting that colour in there will do. Mountain range, 22 seconds, that's all it takes. Got that on. Now fields, oh, we're flying through this, aren't we? Lemon yellow and a little bit of sap green, not too much. Now what you can do is just leave a bit of a gap between that mountain range and the green. So we've gone green, now we're just going royal blue, and again this acts as we're acting as if that area's bathed in sunlight, maybe a little alleyway through the mountains, just blasting onto there. Let's have a little bit of cobalt this end. They're all quite weak colours. But you see what we're doing, this is like a misty morning, but that just captures the light, yeah? So that in itself looks quite nice, yeah? Right, well done guys, well done indeed, you're doing fabulous. Okay, take a deep breath. Good. Right. You ready for some blossoms now? I'm going to start with Mini Dave and Cadmium Orange. Yeah? So we're going to start relatively tea strength for a start because we want to see what's happening here, how dry it is or how wet. So we want it to bleed in a bit, but not all over the place. So we're starting about here. Let's put a few dobs down. And what you need to do, as well as me, but with your own work, you need to see how far this bleeds. So if it just goes whoop, that means it's a bit too wet. So have a cup of tea and give it a couple of minutes or even 30 seconds and try again. When I'm placing this down, I'm not just covering it, I'm not just dragging the brush over everything, and I'm leaving the moon for a moment. Now, I'll show you why. But by putting it down in patches like this, I can allow some of that blue to show through and let in the sky, you know, be part of it, not just a big blanket covering. Right, got that on. So what this is telling me is this area is still a bit wet, that's fairly dry. Okay. Right, I'm just doing a bit above the moon. Now I'm going to get some pink coffee strength. And we're moving in a bit. I'm dropping some of this into the orange we've put on. I'm not really even touching the paper, I'm just catching the colour and it's bleeding off. Okay. Now I'm just going pink. But I'm putting this down in the same fashion. Don't worry about your tree trunk. Don't go round it. You can go over it because we'll paint over that. Now I've gone right over to this top edge. And you don't have to pick colour up every time. You can get a bit of water and just let it bleed into the water. Yeah? So you see what we're doing? We've gone around this top edge. We're still just skirting around the moon. Now I'm getting orange again. And I know this is going to be a bit drier. I'm just going to start bringing a little bit of colour over the moon. Now just be careful with this, just small bits. Like that, yeah? We don't want to cover the whole lot, and the further away it gets from the tree, the less there is. And you can even drape it over the mountains a bit. But what you're trying to do two things here. You're trying to show that the tree's bending this way, and you're trying to show that the moon is still there. Yeah. So always think, what is the purpose of me doing this particular thing? I know that sounds odd, but quite often you get carried away, as I do, and you forget what you're trying to do, and you just throw in the stuff on. So keep focused on what you're trying to achieve. Cad orange has gone across nicely. Now you can put a bit of pink into that. Try and leave quite a bit of breathing space around the colour. Yeah. See, if you put too many leaves over that, you're going to swamp it, and people will think, well, it's not circular, I can't see the moon, but you can. Hi there, Cindy, welcome along. I wonder, I've got your cup of tea ready. Get yourself ready, and you'll be absolutely fine. Right, got all that on. Right, a little bit orangey pink, just down here. Now the bulk of the leaves are going to be high up, yeah, which are up there. And then the bulk of the deeper colours, tones, are going to be here. So don't overdo your leaves, or petals, or blossoms should I say. Let's get it right. Get some on and then go back and do a few more after a bit. Otherwise you sort of get a bit overwhelmed with it. You get crazy, yeah? I do as well, I know what you're like. But you get crazy and then you say, oh, I shan't have done so much. Well, just sit back and just put a few on, and then we can add more as we go along. But I think we've got quite enough on there. So there's a nice little blossom going on there. And just to add a bit more depth to this corner, let's actually add a little bit of alizarin crimson. So that's your dark red. We're going to put that around here. So we're purposely trying to put it away from the moon. Down to there a bit. And even a bit of mauve. Oh, mauve, violet. We've gone crazy tonight. But the whole thing is you're trying to get these darks a bit away from the moon to try and drag you in. Right, okay guys, so leave that, don't do any more on there. What about a bit of tree trunk time? Yeah, let's get that on. No, I tell you what, no, leave that. Let's do the bank of the old hi-ho. Right, clean brush, a little bit of water. Relatively clean, a bit cleaner than mine. Now, we've got a bit of lemon yellow. This can be coffee strength because this is nearer to us. Now, that bit along the top edge, I'm leaving a bit of white paper. And I'm curving this round. Yeah. So there's my lemon yellow. Now, a bit of cadmium orange. Remember, we're curving this round. Those little lines are showing us where we're curving this round. Then what we got? Let's have a bit of, let's bring it over a bit more, but still leaving a bit of white gaps. I forgot how much I used white gaps. I need to get back to it because I really like those and they really give you some great little lines of description. Bit of pink now, look. Yeah. Now this is not necessarily covered in cherry blossom that's all fallen off the tree. It's more a reflected light, a description of the glow. Yeah. So I'm popping back and doing a few dabs like this. Don't get crazy again and overwhelm it. Just put a few on and then have a sit down. Mauve, bit of that in there. Because that mauve is really going to be a shadow cast by the tree. So I do a few little lines like this. Yeah. Okay, super duper. Looking good guys, looking good. So we've got a really nice glow. Oh, we could warm as toast, warm as toast. Right, we've got that on. Now, where are we going next? We're going onto the tree. Cad orange again. Coffee strength. I'm just picking out that edge. And you could leave it there, just to a little gap. Because it won't bleed in much, but we just want to control it a bit. So cad orange around to there. Then we're going to get a bit of burnt sienna, I think this is. Is it sienna? Umber? Mid-brown. There it is. Let's dollop some of that in. And if you can leave a few little white lines in, that just shows you the bark of the tree and the direction of the growth. Okay. Yeah. Very nice. Now then, mauve time. Say mauve, it could be violet. There it is. Bit there, bit there, bit there. Those little white bits, remember, leave them if you can. They're useful. Round here, look. Right, so we had a drawing of where this went. Now then, what we had, or what we need to have, let's just join these down here a bit. So I'm going to join these onto the earth and just actually drag some of this colour. in a scruffy way. There you go, there's a scruffy way. It's a bit like a Milky Way, but scruffier. And all that is adding a bit of texture to the bank and not having to show exactly where the tree joins the foreground. Yeah, okay. Right, got that on. Now there really is a glow going on there. Hi there. Azendia, good to see you there. Welcome along. Thank you for your very kind comments. So we've got all that on. Now, let's get a bit of burnt sienna. And we can pick up little bits of the tree trunk here. So we did the drawing. It's all fairly well covered. And I'm just taking bits up because what we've got is Bloosom going in front of the can't even think of the word. Branches, that's it, branches, got it. Whew, that took some while. That was a broadcast on its own, wasn't it? Right, we had one going up here. And all you need to do is just so long as you decide that's going up there, let's do one going across here. Don't take it too far, just take a bit, then imagine, right, I'm going to follow it on there. Yeah? And then your eye will follow it. Not literally, but metaphorically it will. Let's have a bit of orange now. Let's make the branch a little bit more orangey this side. Okay, so we're just looping over in front of the actual tree, not tree, the moon itself. We've got some coming down like this, look. So if they're draping down, just drape them down. Don't go up and over. You don't explain really where they come from. Okay, cookies. And I don't know how good your reception is tonight, but there's just an owl outside of my window hooting. It sounds like it's a made up thing, but no. Just soften some of those off, can just run a bit of water across. And that picks up more delicate branches, so you don't even have to mix the colour. Okay, nicely swooped. How's your swooping going, guys? Good, 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 good. Right, just at the base of the mountain, let's go over here now. Bit of a change. We've got a bit of mauve, violet, and a bit of blue. Fairly weak still, but just at the back here, running a little bit of that colour, just draping a bit down. Yeah. So I put it on. Get a bit of water and just soften the top edge. So that just gives us a more of a misty feel to the mountains. What about a few trees? Yeah, why not? Sap green, cobalt blue, sap green, cobalt blue. Even a bit of mauve for the distant ones. So just on the distance, I'm dropping a few little, they're really just little dots. We're in again. We've got that second wave. Now I'm not doing a line, I just want to do a bit of a bobble. Remember, you can go back and soften these down if they get a bit too heavy. Yeah. Then we've got some here, foreground, a bit bigger. There you go. Now then, because that's a sunlight coming over that hill, we've got a little bit of water on the brush, and all I'm going to do is drape a little bit of water and allow some of those long morning, well, they're either morning or evening shadows, just to drape across. Yeah. Really nice little technique just to get the fields joining and to put shadows in. So you're actually just picking up the colour of the bobbly trees to just cascade over the top there. Yeah. So it's quite subtle, but that's me. Sometimes I'm a bit subtle. Right. Going good, guys, going good. Right, I think we're just going to darken the tree trunk down a bit. So we've got a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of cobalt blue. Not too much of this, but just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is draw a few little wiggly lines on the tree trunk. I'm trying to keep it just away from the edges because that's where the light's hitting. Then again, yeah, even a couple of dark ones. Front of the moon. Then we can have a few little individual leaves, not too many because we've got a decent splurge on there. Bit of cad orange, bit of cleaned up pink. So I just scoop any rubbishy colour, i.e. it's mixed up a bit too much, out of the way. Then I'll have a few dots. This is where if you want to extend it a bit, you can do. But do sit back and take a wider view of the painting before you do it, because it may not be necessary. Quite often people just throw it on because I've put it on, but mine may need it, yours may not. So have you got enough leaves on? Do you want to describe it anymore? Is it working? Because there is an optimum point within the painting when it looks its best, you know. And sometimes you'll keep searching, and in that search you'll do too much, which you don't need to do. So really it's worth always considering where is the best point of the painting. And it won't tell you. You've got to say, if I do, almost say to yourself, if I do this, will it improve it? And if the answer is no, if you're doing it for just reasons for bobbling more paint on, then stop, a cup of tea. And the whole thing about a cup of tea, it's a break. It gives you a bit of a chance to sit back and say, do I need to do any more? But you do get so into it that you forget where you're going sometimes. Right, nice little bobbles there. Okay, looking good guys, looking good. Right, anything else? I think we could add a little bit more, just a bit, because I know I'm getting near the... and also when it gets very rich, it can get a bit, get too many depths of strength on. So just here I'm just putting blobs. And again, if you're putting colour on and you're not seeing it, it's basically because you're plonking the same colour or tone on top of the colours that are already that tonal value already. So if you darken it down just a little bit, right, just edge of the brush, wobble, edge and wobble. So we've still retained that yellow in there, but we've just built it up as we've gone along, just there. Right, let's have a little look. Now let's have a little bit more pink with Miss Riggs, and a little bit of splatification. If you're just using flickage, which this is, then that's easier than putting it on dot by dot. Yeah? So, I think we're about there, guys. So, we've got everything on. The moon is just white, yeah, but it still glows through the trees, and we've still tried to capture that by going round it. So we're really keeping an eye on where we're going with that. We've got, just to refresh, we got the background on with the sky, with the yellows. I think we had orange and blues. Got that on. Then we came down to the mountains, I think, and the field. Then we got the foreground on. No, then we went back, and then we got the leaves on. But we were testing to see how much they bled into the background. Yeah, worked our way across so it's lighter colours and going darker as we get to this corner. So it draws you all around this side. It's like a sweeping motion. Yeah, it's like a letter C curling round. We got all that on, and we got the. I think we did the fields, mountains, which were royal blue and mauve, violet. Got greens on with lemon yellow and green going into light blue, just pulling those across. Then we got the tree trunk on, which was a bit of cad orange and burnt sienna. Yeah. Then what else did we do? We started to dab these on and build the little leaves, little branches going through the trees. So that all, just building it up gently, that is the thing. That's what we were trying to do. Yeah. So really good fun, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. And that's our little live broadcast for this week. I really look forward to seeing your finished products, as they call them, your fabulous paintings. Now, I did say about a little bit of sepia. So rather, just before we go, let me not forget that. So I've got my little sepia pen, And if you need to, we can add a little bit of that. Now then, there's not much to do with it. We can add a few extra stems or branches. But I'm just using it as little lines, nothing much at all. Add a little bit of detail to the tree, just running a few lines down, wobbling it about. Even if the paint's still wet, it can bring a nice little texture to it. But again, there's not a lot to do with this. Maybe a little bit of fluffification, which could be little bits of scrub on the ground. Easily just leaning those into the image. Everything's done to draw you in, but only in this corner. Don't get it all over the place. Oh, it's scrubland. You don't need it. You don't need it. Now, let's have a look. Yeah, there is one thing. Let's just try this before I go. We can put, now this oriental scene, so we can put somebody standing on the bank if you like. Now you don't have to do this, yeah, it's just a little example. So we've got a bit of cad orange. Now then, just here we can say have a little guy. So let's go, yeah, about there. You've got to find a spot. So a dab of cad orange. Yeah. Let's go with a blue tunic. So there's the head. So the shoulders will be back of the head. All I do is bring a line down for a start. Although plumping him up a bit at the front. Then back down. Maybe an arm coming out and going up. A little bit of mauve. Again, just at the base, we can have a bit of mauve as a shadow. It's always good to put shadows on because it anchors it to the ground, and you don't have to do shoes and all that caper. Then let's have a little bit of a hat. Just on the top of it. All it is a line across the top of the head. Staff. Yeah, what about a staff? Cad orange, bit of red. A long shadow, yeah. There we go. Little fella standing on the bank. Yeah. So, there we go, guys. Oh, final thing. I keep forgetting everything tonight. I would forget my head. I would forget my head. Always put your signature on. There it is. Ba-dam. So, fabulous. So, well done, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. A good one to learn all the little techniques. So you've got a little bit of landscape work in there, a bit of figure work, and also a bit of perspective for getting a good distance in as well. Real good fun, guys. Really look forward to seeing your examples over on the various platforms. Facebook, on YouTube, and on Patreon. If you need any brushes or any help, guys, just there's click links below. You can easily follow those and just drop me a message. But really look forward to seeing your examples very, very soon. So thanks for your company, guys. You've been stars as ever, and I shall catch you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.